If you think you already know what humans are capable of, you're wrong, and by the end of this story, you'll understand why the galaxy doesn't fear war anymore. It fears them. Welcome to Coming the HFY, where humanity doesn't just survive, it dominates the impossible. So make sure you subscribe because stories like this only get crazier. The Interstellar Council vessel Helios Spire drifted helplessly in the vacuum between mapped systems, its outer hull fractured like shattered glass, venting oxygen in a slow, silent death spiral that no one aboard could stop. Chief Diplomat Ren Talvek of the Illyrian Concorde hovered near the failing command console, his slender, silver-veined hands trembling as the emergency lights pulsed dimly across the bridge. "We're out of options," he said, his voice strained but controlled, the kind of control that comes from someone trained to face extinction with dignity. "Transmit the distress signal." Across the chamber, Communications Officer Lias froze, her luminous eyes flickering toward the long-range scanner as if it had just whispered something unspeakable. "Sir, there is one vessel within response range," she said quietly, her voice tightening. "But it's registered as human." The word alone changed everything. Conversations died. Movement stopped. Even the automated system seemed to hum more quietly, as if the ship itself understood what that meant. Every intelligent species in the known galaxy had heard the same stories, passed from one civilization to another like warnings etched in cosmic stone. Earth, a death world orbiting an unstable star, a place where gravity crushed bone, where the atmosphere itself was a toxic gamble, where storms could erase cities and predators hunted not for survival, but efficiency. And yet, from that chaos, something had risen, not just survivors, but conquerors of their own environment. They called themselves human. The galaxy had given them another name, Apex Deathworlders. Talvek closed his eyes for a moment, calculating the odds, the risks, the certainty of death if they did nothing. 49 souls aboard, he whispered. Less than 10 hours of breathable air. Send it. The signal was transmitted into the void, a fragile cry swallowed by infinite darkness. What came next was something no one on that ship would ever forget. The reply arrived in under 5 minutes. Not a delayed acknowledgement, not a cautious response, an immediate answer, sharp and clear through the static. Distress signal received. This is Commander Elias Ward of the Terran vessel Vanguard Resolute. Coordinates locked. Sit tight. We're already moving. The calm in his voice was not comforting. It was something else entirely. Confidence so absolute it bordered on terrifying. Lias pulled up the incoming vessel's trajectory, and for the first time in her career, she made a sound that wasn't composed, wasn't professional, a soft, involuntary gasp. The Vanguard Resolute wasn't a hospital ship. It wasn't a diplomatic envoy. It was a rapid intervention cruiser built for hostile environments, its hull scarred, patched, and reinforced like a veteran that had survived 100 battles it was never meant to win. It was approaching at a velocity that defied every safety regulation in the Council database, tearing through micro-debris fields and gravitational fluctuations like they didn't exist. For any other species, it would have been suicidal. For humans, apparently, it was routine. The impact of the docking clamps reverberated through the crippled station like a thunderstrike, metal groaning as the two vessels locked together under immense stress. When the airlock finally cycled open, the humans didn't hesitate. Commander Ward stepped through first. Tall, solid, his pressure suit worn and repaired in places that told stories no one here could read. Behind him came his team, Dr. Lena Cross, already scanning the environment with sharp, calculating eyes, Engineer Mateo Briggs hauling equipment that looked far too heavy for a single being, and Lieutenant Caravance, her posture alert, her gaze sweeping every corner with instinctive precision. They moved fast, but not chaotically, every action deliberate, every step efficient, like a system designed specifically for crisis. Ward took one look at Talvek, gave a brief nod, and extended his hand in that strange human greeting. "You picked a hell of a place to spring a leak," he said with a faint grin. "Let's fix that." Talvek hesitated for a fraction of a second before grasping the offered hand, and the moment their grips met, he felt it. That unshakable solidity, like holding on to something that simply refused to break. What followed defied logic. Dr. Cross moved through the injured Illyrians with practiced ease, stabilizing fractures, restoring oxygen flow, speaking in a steady, almost casual tone that somehow cut through panic like a blade. Matteo Briggs sealed the hull breach with improvised materials, welding, patching, and reinforcing while vacuum clawed at him through microscopic gaps, his only response a quiet mutter of focus. Lieutenant Vance positioned herself at critical junctions without being asked, her awareness extending beyond visible threats, anticipating structural failures before sensors could even register them. And at the center of it all, Ward coordinated the entire operation with unwavering calm, his voice never rising, never faltering, even as the ship groaned under the strain of imminent collapse. Time seemed to compress into something unreal, minutes stretching into lifetimes, every second balanced on the edge of survival. And then, just like that, it was over. Oxygen levels stabilized. Structural integrity restored. 49 Illyrian crew members alive. Not a single casualty. Talvek found Ward near the airlock, already preparing to depart as if this had been nothing more than a routine task. "Commander," Talvek said quietly, his voice carrying something deeper now, something like disbelief. "Why did you come? We are not your allies. We have never even met your kind." Ward paused, glancing back with a slight tilt of his head, as if the question itself didn't quite make sense. "You sent a distress signal," he replied simply, giving a small shrug. "That's enough." There was no grand speech. No declaration. Just that. The humans left as quickly as they had arrived, their ship detaching and vanishing back into the void, leaving behind a silence that felt heavier than before, but different. In the cycles that followed, the incident was recorded across multiple galactic networks, analyzed, debated, and ultimately classified as an anomaly that could not be fully explained. The official Illyrian report was precise, clinical, response time under 5 minutes, 0 casualties, repair methods unconventional, efficiency beyond predictive modeling. But it was Lias's private log that spread the furthest, copied and shared in quiet corners of the galaxy where truth mattered more than protocol. "They came without hesitation," she wrote. "Into a dying vessel, in a region where no one would have blamed them for ignoring us. They worked as if failure was not an option, as if saving us was already decided the moment they heard our signal. They carried impossible weight, endured impossible conditions, and never once questioned whether it was worth it. I used to believe the stories, that Deathworlders were something to fear. I was wrong. It's not their strength that terrifies me. It's not their resilience. It's the fact that they will cross the void itself for strangers, risk everything without hesitation, and expect nothing in return. The rest of the galaxy sees monsters. I see something far more dangerous. I see a species that has already decided no one gets left behind. And that means, one day, nothing in this universe will be beyond their reach." And out there, beyond the fragile borders of civilized space, the humans continued to answer every call, every signal, every desperate whisper lost in the dark, because to them, it was never a question of if they would come, only how fast. And if you want more stories like this, where humanity proves again and again why the galaxy both fears and depends on them, don't forget to subscribe to Coming the HFY, because the next story might be even more unbelievable.